Okay, what we're looking at is a Heathkit IG102. It's an RF generator that covers 100 kilocycles up to 110 megacycles. It does that in 6 ranges. Covers from 100 to 320, 310 to 1100, 1 megacycle to 3.2, 3.1 megacycles to 11, 10 to 32, and 32 to 110. Comes with an internal modulator, has a switch to go internal or external, has external modulation or audio frequency output volume control or modulation control. We have a fine attenuator and a coarse attenuator with 3 steps. And this particular model also has what they call RF direct, which feeds you the RF signal without going through the attenuation circuits, and it gives you a stronger, cleaner, more pure RF output, but requires additional impedance. This particular unit has been given new BNC connectors in place of the standard button type connector. Button type connectors are this old-fashioned Heathkit button mic type connector. We've replaced it with the BNC, which is more compatible with the majority of today's instrumentation. It's much easier to get the cables to adapt to this. You don't have to pay to buy antique cables, and then you can connect to your oscilloscopes and other hardware. So I find that to be usefulness to me. And the unit has a clean front case, faceplate. Has a small scrape right up here in the corner, very, very minor. Paint on it is in very good shape. Looks new, relatively. And then looking at the case itself, the case is in marvelous shape, and it's been given a new paint job, which makes it look really incredible. As you can see, there's not a scratch on it. It includes on the bottom. Tilt it back here. Beautiful unit. We're going to take it through its paces. Turn off this light here, see if we can see the oscilloscope a little better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take ourselves through all of the ranges, and we'll dial through all of the frequencies. And I want you to pay attention to the oscilloscope and observe the waveform. Basically look for irregularities or dropouts. I want you to be sure that this thing is providing output over all of its ranges. You will notice that the amplitude will change. There's very little control over the amplitude in this unit, and it is much more efficient at some frequencies than others. And you're going to be able to see that. But with the attenuation control, we can adapt for those changes and level them out. So right now we are on band A. We're at 100 kilocycles, and we're going to be going upwards now in frequency to 320. All right. You see the frequency increasing. All right, we're at 320. I'm going to go to band B now. We're on the high end of band B at this point, and we're going to be dialing down. So we're going to go from 1100 kilocycles down to 310 kilocycles. So we are at 1100 right now, and we're dialing down. And as you can see, the frequency is getting lower. Okay, we're going to go to band C. This is 1 megacycle to 3.2 megacycles. I'm going to go ahead and turn my range up a little, make it just a little more observable on the scope. Okay, we are at 1 megacycle and we're going up to 3.2. And there we are, 3.2. Let's turn up our... Alright, I think we can see that quite well. Let's go ahead and go to band D. This is 3.1 megacycles to 11. We're on the 11 side right now. So we're going from 11 down to 3.1. And there we are at 3.1. Going to band E. This is, we'll go ahead and turn our amplitude up a little bit. We're at 10 megacycles, we're going to 32. As you can see, our efficiency is climbing right now. I can actually dial back in my amplitude here. I'll do that. And we'll keep going. And we are reaching 32 right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn my range up a little more on my scope. Alright. And we're going to band F. This is the final band. And we are at the extreme end. We're at 110 megacycles right now. We're going to dial down to 32. Let's go ahead and turn this up. I think it's, yeah, actually I can't. I'm at the end of my range on the scope, so we're going to be dialing, well, let's see, maybe I can. We're at 110 right now, and we're dialing down to 32. And there we go. So there we go. We've covered all of the ranges, A through F. We can demonstrate the attenuator. Let's go ahead and just turn ourselves up here. All right. There's our high setting, middle setting, and I can turn my amplitude up again, and then low. So that's working. And if we were to turn on our internal modulator, we have a demonstration of the modulations. Now there, we'll turn up our sweep. There you can see the modulation, no modulation, modulation, no modulation. So that's working. And we'll demonstrate the direct here in a moment. Okay, as you can see, I've connected up to the RF direct here with the probe. I'm on times 10, so I'm getting 10 megohm impedance here, and I'm displaying I'm on my lowest band. I'm at 100 kilocycles. I'm displaying a frequency on the oscilloscope, and I'm going to go ahead and turn myself up, going through the ranges. And I think what you're going to notice here, at least I notice it, is that the purity of the signal is much better this way. Now the other thing is that it's coming through rather strong. I'm getting 0.5 volts per centimeter, so right now we are running about a volt and a quarter peak. So we're about 2.5 volts peak to peak, and it's very clean. Turn this frequency up here so you can see it again. We are right now at 3.1. Here's 11. There would be 32. That's 32. And 110. It's actually doesn't work very well at 110, this RF Direct. It works very well at all the other ranges. But it seems to me like, no, it's doesn't really have much output. Just drives it crazy at the next step down. So there you have that. As with all my gear, I will provide this with service manual, and we'll give you a set of leads with it as well. So happy bidding. Thank you for listening. Good night. Okay, one of the considerations of any signal generator, RF generator in this case, is that the vernier, the selection dial for the frequency, is accurate, and that the corresponding circuitry provides the frequency desired based on the vernier. So we want to kind of test this one here to make sure that we're in the ballpark and that things are working well. So we're going to do that. Right now I've got myself connected up to this Fluke counter, 1952A, and we're going to start at the low end of the dial. Let's talk just a moment about the calibration of the unit and how it works. All of the calibration points were set at the low end of the dial per the manual. So for each range, the low end of the range sets the cal, and as you progress through the range, the calibration will become less and less accurate. So we're going to test that and see, however, how much of the dial that we are accurate, and then there's overlap between the ranges. So if you wanted to accurately dial in frequency, you might want to progress to the next range and then go to the low end of the dial, and there you'd be able to dial it in more accurately since it was calibrated at that point. So you're not left inaccurate, you just use the overlaps. Let's go ahead and check this thing out. Right now we are at the band A 100 kilocycle point. I've got myself dialed into the 100 kilocycle point, and what I see is I'm getting a 100.42 kilocycles. Let us dial up to mid-range. That's 17 on the dial, so it'd be 170 kilocycles. And we are getting 169.58. So 170 kilocycles, pretty much right on the nose. And let us go to 32. This would be the end of the band. And so, okay, we're at 320 kilocycles, and we are reading 313.45. Let's go ahead and dial up to 320 to see how far we have to go to hit it. All right, we've hit 320, and what we see is the 32 mark is just above the pointer by about, oh, I don't know, maybe a quarter of an inch. And we are reading 320.1, 7.2 on the dial. So we are accurate over the first half of the dial without doubt, and then progressively getting worse as you go to the end, but still within the ballpark. less than a half of a, or less than a quarter of an inch would be approximately a half a step. So where it should have been reading 32.5, we read 32. Okay, let's go to band B. Band B starts at 310 kilocycles, and it's on this second vernier dial on the inside. There. All right, we're reading right on the 310 mark, and we are reading 310.68 kilocycles. Let's go ahead to the mid-band point. Mid-band being 550. And that looks to be 550 right there. And what I'm reading is 546.83. Let's see what it takes to get to 550. That's 550. In fact, if I look at the dial, the dial indicator has a line through it, and the thickness of that line is the difference to get 550 on the dial up here. So it essentially was right on it within a drawn line. Let's go ahead and proceed up to the upper end of the dial. We should be reading 1.1 megacycles. That would be it right about there. And I'm reading 1062. So instead of 1100, we got 1062. Let's go ahead and proceed to dial up to 11. There's 11. Right there. And again, it's round about a half a step up, so should have been maybe 115, but we have 11. So it would be better to go to the next range, and we're going to go down to 1.0 megacycles here. Okay, so we are reading 10 right here, and we are reading 1 megacycle. So definitely you could dial it in on that end of the dial. Let's go to mid-band, which is 17 here. Okay, and that is 1.7 megacycles. And we are reading 1699, so 1.7 megacycles, pretty much right on. Go ahead to the upper end of the band. This would be 3.2. 332 on the dial right there. Let's see, band C, yes. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. And we are reading 3.14136. If we proceed forward to 32. Okay. Then once again we are roughly a half a step, so we could have been reading 33 here. So let's progress to the next range, 3.1 megacycles to 11, 3.1 approximately right there. And we have 3.104. 3.1 right on. go ahead to mid band. Right about there. This would be 5.5. Okay, so we're reading 55 on the dial here. And we have 54975, so essentially 55 there too, so 5.5 megacycles. Then going to the 11 megacycle range or setting. That should be 11 right about there. And we are reading 10640 instead of 110. So we got 106 instead of 110. If we go forward, right there, we are roughly again a half a step. Okay, going to band E. Band E is outer edge, and we are right there on the 10 right now. So we should be reading 10 megacycles. And what we are reading is 9.966 megacycles. So 9,966 kilocycles. Let us go forward to mid-band. This should be 17 megacycles. And we are reading 16,976. 17 if you round it. And finally, let's go to the end of the dial here. This should be reading 32 megacycles, and we are reading 31.4. If we go to 32, is less than a quarter of an inch away, and we have 32. Let's go ahead to band F. Okay, we're on band F, and we've dialed in 32 on the dial, and that would be for 32 megacycles, and we see that we have 32,000 kilocycles, so that's 32 megacycles. We're going to go ahead and check mid-band. Mid-band would be, I don't know, let's call it 60 megacycles. And it looks to be 60 right there. And we are reading 60.2 megacycles right now. Okay, we've put ourselves at 100 kilocycles on band F, and we are reading 99.7, essentially 100. So we've held our calibration across the entire range. So our vernier is very accurate over all of the ranges. You have increased accuracy towards the low end of any range. You have overlap on all the ranges except for the ends. So well, except for the upper end, let's put it that way. So you should be able to get very accurate dial-in readings of all of your frequencies. This was accomplished by calibrating the internal coils and capacitors, the trimmer capacitors, according to the calibration in the manual, and results are very fine. This unit isn't just working, it's working extremely well. So if you are the lucky person getting the unit, then you have a very nice piece of equipment. Huh? Okay, thank you for listening. Let me introduce you to the manual and the test leads that will come with it. This is a standard BNC to gator clip leads, useful in great many applications. Here you're introduced to theory of operation, calibration, build, schematic diagrams in the back, and parts lists. So you have everything you need. Even it has some usage of it for tuning in radios and so on. So it's a fine manual, fine set of leads, beautiful instrument, extremely nice condition. Good luck on your bidding, and thank you for listening.